tonight we're going to have Rocket League again, but this time with our JV team. Tonight we're going to be going against Stanislaus, which is a Cal State.
Yes, sir.
So on
I think you're good to go.
on the Vandals team, we're going to have Pinhead, was it? Tamir and Sarah playing. And then on Stanislaus' team, we're going to have Wolvie, Psycho, and Jovito, right? Yeah.
I
believe so, yes. Both these teams are currently tied for ranked first in the game. So it's going to be a battle for first place, essentially.
It's going to be a struggle, and here we are in the beginning. Pinhead and Chop taking the clash on kickoff. Pinhead takes command, but Psycho steals. Here we have a bit of a struggle in the center. Chop defends his side, goes racing towards the Vandals' goal, but it is blocked by Sarah. Good defense by Sarah. Saikoro in the center with Wolverine, and Tomir and Pinhead block, but unfortunately they cannot take Chop's second shot, and he makes the first point of the game.
Yeah. Our Vandals just need hopefully a bit of time to just warm up and get prepared to work together as a team here efficiently.
Yes, it's not the best start, but you know what? We can easily take that back. Look at Pinhead taking control there. And we see the ball in the corner with Tomir. He has excellent technique, but Chop looks like he goes for the shot with Psycho, but they post, and Vandals take command of the ball. There's Pinhead with the block, and Wolverine tries to go for a second shot, but he misses, just a little off on his aim there. Psycho goes for the goal, and Wolverine takes shot from center with an assist from Psycho, making it the second goal. This is interesting.
Yeah. This has been a pretty hard battle so far for the Vandals. It's just mostly trying to get that defensive line a bit stronger, a bit tighter. They're a little bit of flailing there, but once again, they just need to get warmed up, and I'm sure they'll be scrapped.
There's Tomir with the block and a post from Chop, but Wolverine takes the center with an open goal. Sarah just barely misses that block, and 3-0 in favor of that name
Stanislaus.
Stanislaus. I'm
Straight
going to have to
from
practice that. Stanislaus.
Ireland or something. I don't know. Scottish?
Beautiful block by Tomir. Look at that, directly towards the goal. He misses the shot, but Sarah's there to support. Chop takes takes defense and is able to keep the ball away from the goal with Psycho. Even as Sarah was pushing offense, Wolverine goes for our goal, but Pinhead is there. Sarah and Chop a little aggressive right there in the center. And sorry for the lack of energy.
Vandals are doing their best to try to keep the ball inside, which is good.
I think we need a little more communication between our players because they're not with each other. Their cohesion is lacking. But it looks like we're pushing the offensive right now. Tomir lining up with the ball, takes it from Wolverine. Look at that. But the Stanislaus, I need to get used to that name.
Stanislaus.
Push the offensive back onto the Vandal side. There's Pinhead, but it's bounced back by Psycho towards the goal, and with an assist from Psycho, Chop scores, making that 4-0. Things are now looking good for us.
That was a better round for the Vandals there. They're starting to get in their groove, but overall, once again, that defense needs to be a bit stronger. That communication needs to be a bit better.
They definitely need to communicate when they're picking up boosts and when they're dropping to defense, because that kind of thing is really big for how they're lining up and how they're responding to attacks from Stanislaus. Here's Psycho going for the goal again with help from Chop. However, Pinhead is there with Tomir, and they are taking the defensive by storm. Here's Wolverine passing the ball to Psycho, but it misses. Tomir capitalizes. There's Chop on the D, and Sarah supporting Tomir on the offensive. A little disjointed, but Pinhead goes for the goal, overshoots a little bit. Wolverine tries to nope. But it doesn't work. Here's Pinhead on the defense. Chop tries to take control, and with Stanislaus working together, Chop is able to make another point for their team.
I was told that the game is being played so late tonight because a lot of the Vandals had calculus tests, so maybe they're a bit brain fried.
That sucks. I do not like calculus, personally.
Yeah.
Glad I don't have to take it. Here's Chop missing the ball in air, but his teammate backs him up. However, Pinhead tracking that ball takes it towards the Stanislaus goal. There's Tomir head-to-head with Wolverine. Tomir takes control. He's blasting over to the Stanislaus side, but unfortunately unable to make that goal, both because of his aim and the defensive line. Here's Pinhead with Tomir. Oh, and that was unfortunate. Psycho from the midline was able to make a score because the goal was completely undefended from center field. It was just a straight shot.
Yeah, once again, that defense, it's really important. It's hard. There's only 3 players. There's only so big of a court, but they need to figure out a way to balance the offensive strategy and the defense.
I gotta have appreciation for his goal animation, though.
No, I love that.
Jack Skellington is amazing.
You know, Halloween's coming up. We gotta have some spooky vibes.
Exactly. Here we have Psycho going for the goal, has a straight shot once again, but luckily our defense is there, and Tomir was able to block it. Chop goes for a second strike, but misses. With more defensive plays from our Vandals, Pinhead tries to go for the offensive, but Wolverine is there to stop the momentum. And Chopito goes for the goal, blocked by a Vandal. Psycho tries to turn it around, and Pinhead and Tomir are there, but he dodges them rather beautifully, actually. That was graceful.
Elegant.
An open goal is dangerous for the Vandals, and unfortunately, the game ends with Stanislaus in the lead, 6-0.
At that point in the game, it was mostly just trying to make sure that they can't get any more goals over us. It was just try to have a good defense, and the Vandals were doing their best. Hopefully that they'll be able to carry in that strong defense into the next game.
Those are not good-looking stats, to be completely honest. Hopefully we pick things up in this next game. I don't know. I wonder if after this game, if things are still going not too well for the Vandals, if Great Britain, who's the coach, will be subbing in someone else.
Yeah.
Don't know yet. Here we have a starting clash between Tomir and Chop. It heads towards the Vandal side. Pinhead is there to take command of the ball, but Wolverine takes it from the air, stealing it from him. Sarah tries to defend, but luckily Tomir is there to support her.
Good defensive strategy from the Vandals, having Tomir back there.
Yes. And here is a little bit of a back and forth between Vandals and Stanislaus, but Stanislaus takes the lead, heading straight for the goal, and they unfortunately make it despite the defense that was there. They just weren't in the right spot.
Yeah, that was a really close one for the Vandals there. Tomir had a very good chance getting it, but just slipped between. It happens.
Just not enough speed or a little too much power on the other end. Once again at the kickoff. Oh, Psycho has a beautiful lead there ahead of Tomir. Not good for the Vandals, but thankfully our defense comes in and Sarah's there with that control. Look at that. Those dribbling skills are amazing. Not even the defense can take it from her. but she gets stalled so close, but Pinhead is there for support. Wolverine as defense knocks it away straight towards the Vandal goal, but Tomir is there to bounce it back. Wolverine tries to take dribble, but Pinhead is there between the two defenders. Chop bounces through, trying to force his way. Tomir prevents that, taking it to the sides and up to the ceiling, down, bounces, but Wolverine takes the bounce. We have Pinhead following it back, and Sarah's there as well. Wolverine goes for the goal, but thankfully Tomir and Pinhead are on defense. Pinhead goes straight for a fence, but Wolverine demolishes him, and Psycho takes the ball. Wolverine makes a shot towards the goal, but Pinhead and Tomir are there with Sarah as well. Two aggressors on the Stanislaus side heading for our goal, but so much is going on there that we have all three of our Vandals playing defense. Here's Sarah and Chop going head to head. Pinhead directly in front of the goal, and Chop just taking shots but not making any. It's gonna rack up their stats, that's for sure.
Yeah. And the Vandals are playing hard right now.
Much better performance than our last game. A little bit of aggression from Vandals is met by hard defense by the Stanislaus. A shot by Tomir misses by just a little bit of an overshot. Here's Pinhead going for it, but it's blocked by a Stanislaus player. Sarah is here, once again going for an aggressive approach, but two players, I believe Chop and Psycho, are there to take it back, and unfortunately Psycho scores. It's not looking good, but you know what? We can still come back from this.
Yeah. This once again just two Vandals coming down from that wall. It was just a very open goal once again. They just have to figure out a way to unclub themselves so they have more of a chance to be able to maneuver around the field.
A lot more communication is needed on the Vandal side. Here's Pinhead, a demolish straight out of the gate, but Chop takes revenge, I guess, demolishing Pinhead. Here we have a miss from mid-air. Wolverine takes control from there, but Pinhead is able to stop the momentum and take away the ball from the Stanislaus. And here we have a redirection from Chop to the goal, but it's posted and the ball starts going towards the Stanislaus field. Sarah on her own until Tomir comes in for support. Lots of aggression, but they keep hitting that wall. It's not getting the right angle that they need it to, and Psycho is able to take it back to the Vandal side of the field with help from Chop. Thankfully, Pinhead is able to save that goal, preventing another point on the Stanislaus side. A lot more defensive plays from our Vandals, which is really good because our Stanislaus opponents are very aggressive. We need to show a little more aggression, but not too much, because I don't think we have current stability to support that. 1 minute remaining. Can we get 2 more points to at least tie this up? Maybe. Here's Tomir trying to back up Pinhead, and Sarah trying to keep the ball away from the Stanislaus players, but they are just pushing so hard. They're rotating so well to just able to keep the pressure on that way, picking up pennies as they go. So close to the Vandal goal, and Wolverine, oh no, that was Psycho. Psycho goes for the ball off to the side, but Pinhead and Sarah are there to take back control, except Psycho steals it mid-air, only to have Tomir bounce it back to the Stanislaus side, and Chop takes it for the final 12 seconds. Can he keep it? Can he get another goal on us Vandals? Hopefully not, as we have Sarah and Tomir at the back in front of our goal. There's Tomir with his excellent defense. Unfortunately, Chop is able to get that last goal. 1 second left, and it is 3-0. Can we keep it in the air long enough to get that last goal? Unlikely, to be completely honest. Keeping it in the air will keep the game going, so as... Oh. Can we keep it in the air long enough? Oh, Stanislaus comes in for the win. They want another goal, that's for sure, but I don't believe that it's going to work. And it touches the ground, leaving it 2-0 in favor of Stanislaus.
That was a really hard match for the Vandals there. The Stanislaus team was playing very hard. They were just kept hitting us with things. There were no breaks for the Vandals there.
Yes, a lot harder defense played by... It was a market improvement, to say the least. However, we need just a little bit more push from the Vandals in order to get... We'd have to win the next 3 games
Full trust in your
in order
teammates.
to take this series.
Yeah.
And maybe throw in a few dirty demos.
Okay.
So like somebody get in their face a little bit.
But I'm not
So
Yeah, we have a lot of people in this one for Vandals.
Oh, we do have a substitution. This is an amazing trio, actually. So Tomir, Pinhead, and Death the Boss often work very well together. We should be seeing a lot more aggression and a lot more cohesion between these three. I don't know how Stanislaus will be able to handle this change, but it's... Oh, the Stanislaus Warriors. That helps a lot.
Yes.
Here we have Wolverine already just aggression off the bat. Unfortunately, we missed the first shot, but you know what? That kind of aggression can startle the Warriors, as we now know they are.
Yeah, I think that really close almost goal is enough to shock the other team into seeing that.
Yeah. Tomir already sends it back into the Stanislaus side, but Pinhead is clashing with Wolverine, taking it back to the Vandal side. Here he has Saikuro going straight for the goal, but Tomir, Pinhead, and Death the Boss are there to defend. Wolverine goes for another pass to the center with Psycho there at the center, but he shoots too high. Death the Boss is able to deflect, but Chop takes advantage of that deflection to try to send it back to the center. Death the Boss deflects. It's really a bouncing back and forth right now, but luckily Pinhead and Dub are able to send it to the center, all the way onto the Stanislaus side. Dub takes it back to center. Pinhead goes for the shot, and they score!
That was some really good teamwork from the Vandals side. It's really clear that these people have been playing together for a while. That sub-in of Dub was a good idea.
Yes, I definitely agree. That is a beautiful first point for this match. Hopefully we can keep it going. Pinhead and Chop clash in the center with Psycho following behind, but Tomir is able to get that pass straight to Dub the Boss mid-air. Unfortunately, Chop takes over from there, making it a back and forth in the center of the field. He's taking a shot straight down the center field. I'm saying that a lot, but it's all different things. Psycho going for the shot once again, but he overshoots, and Dub the Boss is able to bounce the ball a little further. Wolverine takes control a little bit, but Tomir is able to steal, and Saikuro and Chop bounce it back towards our goal. It posts. They're not doing too well on aiming. That's what I noticed. They make a lot of shots, but they don't actually get it into the goal. A demo, and Pinhead, Dub the Boss are aggressive. Here we have Dub going for another goal, but he misses, or at least he's trying to bounce it into an area where it can be bounced into the goal. Unfortunately, it's back into the Vandal side. All three of the Vandals are here as defense. Tomir demolishes Wolverine, and Pinhead so thankfully blocks a shot from the Stanislaus Warriors. Here we have Wolverine trying to make another goal, but Dub the Boss is there chasing the ball. Saikuro tries to interrupt that momentum, but Dub the Boss is able to just keep it going, and he takes it all the way to the goal. Beautiful second score.
That was a wonderful goal by Dub the Boss there. They were pretty much on their own, but able to get right in between those two other players there.
Yes, definitely a play, but he wouldn't have been able to do that without Tomir and Pinhead staying at the defense.
You know, that defensive line was very important.
Here's Pinhead going for the aggressive, but Wolverine is trying to be there. Tomir goes for the shot, but it posts up top. Dub is at midline, able to stop the momentum of Stanislaus, but Psycho tries to take it back. Dub the Boss goes for the shot. Tomir pushes the ball. It barely misses the Vandal goal. Here's Dove and Saikuro bouncing it back and forth. And a movement forward towards the Stanislaus goal. Here's Wolverine trying to take control, but he's not able to keep that dribble steady. There's Dove mid-air, but Psycho takes it. And Tomir is at the base of the goal with all three of the Warriors pushing forward with the offensive, and Chop is able to get the goal.
Yeah. The Stanislaus Warriors have been pushing really hard to get up back to where they need to be.
Yes, I think they're a little startled that they're not having the lead that they had in the first 2 games. But here's Wolverine with a first kick into our field. There's Psycho trying to support, but thankfully Pinhead and Tomir are there as defense. Just being, unfortunately, after a posted shot by Psycho, Pinhead taps it in the wrong direction and it goes into the goal. The goal is now 2-2.
Yeah, that was disappointing for the Vandals, but I'm sure they can pull themselves up from that.
Yes, we still have time. Tomir and Psycho and Wolverine and Dub the Boss clash in the center, not making much moves, but thankfully Pinhead and Tomir are able to push it towards this Warrior side of the field. Psycho makes a big move, and Chop capitalizes, able to score despite the defense being there. They just weren't at the right spot.
Yeah, the Vandals there, that would have been a very hard thing to miss.
52 seconds left. We need to make at least 2 more goals to keep this series going. There's Wolverine with the successful kickoff. Pinhead blocks. Dub the Boss is off picking pennies. Sends to the center. Tomir was going to assist, but oh no, he comes back with full force. Chop blocks the pass to the center. Dub the Boss is there, but he does not pick up the ball. 30 seconds remaining as Wolverine and Tomir are off on the Vandal side, but the ball is pushed towards the Warrior side. Here's Dub the Boss with an aggressive play. Thankfully, he's able to follow through with Pinhead following right behind. A demolish from Wolverine towards Dub the Boss. There's 10 seconds left. Tomir misses the shot, but Dub the Boss is able to push it forward. Tomir tries, but there's too much defense happening on the Warrior side. Here's an attempted goal is failed, and Stanislaus wins the 3rd of the series, marking this as a Stanislaus win.
No, that was a very good round for the Vandals there. We had 2 goals, and we were very, very close to that win. But sadly, just once again, the defense wasn't as strong as it could have been, and communication, though it did improve, maybe we could have been a bit better at the beginning. We could have had a chance, but
Yeah.
it was 2 very good teams. Once again, we were both ranked first, so it makes sense that this would have been a very hard fight for both of us. But
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it was that hard for Stanislaus.
yeah,
This could have been a lot more difficult. I was expecting more of a fight from our Vandals.
Yeah.
That's not quite what happened until the 3rd game. But that communication is really important in Rocket League, so not having that can be a serious struggle.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the next match will look like, though. With that experience, I'm sure the Vandals kind of know what they need to work on and where we can get better.
Next week.
Next week, it's going to be... We're going to be going against...
And we will be having an interview just after a few updates. And
Yeah.
I don't know who we're interviewing, actually. We'll be back.
Interviewing someone.
We will be facing Boise State next week.
They are a very good team, so that's supposed to be actually.
Do you want to do this?
Hey, and we're going to be joined with an interview from one of the members of the JV team. What's your name?
My name is Cage.
And what's your user?
It's sometimes Pinhead and sometimes Dr. Sellout.
So, what do you feel like your best play today was?
Best play was some of the passing that I've been thrown out. So
And do you think that your play that you can improve on?
I need to improve on rotating a little bit more. So
And how did you feel about your game tonight?
the games were pretty good.
Yep.
There's a couple things that need to be improved.
And how do you feel about this game in comparison to others?
This game was good. We had a little confusion on where to be and when to be there, so that's what we'll work on.
Thanks for your input. Do you have anything you'd like to say about the team?
Our team is doing very well together. I in love with how just nice we are to each other. So it's a very good environment to be in.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in, Vandals. This is a great match. I'd love to see you at the next one, which is going to be on October 30th. Thank you so much.